Hello, all you awesome people out there in digital media land. I wanted to say good morning. My name is Kenna Smith. I'm a renowned psychic medium and an author who lives here on Vancouver Island. And I absolutely love where I live. It is the most beautiful place on earth. I have a beautiful little home and some animals running around. Our goats are pregnant, our chickens and turkeys are hatching, and our puppies are running everywhere. And it's just a time that is absolutely full of life. And it just reminds me to be so grateful for everything that I have and to be reminded of how important it is to celebrate life. And because of that, I wanted to share with you today a story of an experience that I had recently in a restaurant with a friend of mine. And it was about someone who lost her life just far too soon. And how it takes time and healing, and it just really it's a bit of a sad story, but at the same time it's a real story. It really happened, and I think sometimes we need to hear these things in order to really appreciate what we have and not take it for granted, and to know that life is short, and to make sure that you live every day like it's the most important day of your life. Tell the people that you love them. Spend time with your kids, pet your animals, be grateful for everything that you have. Life is short. So, having said that, I want to share this story with you. As a psychic medium, lots of times I have experiences in strange and unusual places in random ways, and this is one of those stories. So, I was having lunch with a friend one day. And oh, just so you know, when I share these stories, I always change the names, the places, the dates, times. I don't want there to be any confidentiality issues or anybody feeling uncomfortable with what I'm sharing. So if I mention a name or something, it won't be the actual name, just so you know. Okay. So I was out having lunch in a restaurant with a friend of mine, and we were just having a lovely time. We were in a restaurant, and as we were sitting there, I felt this heaviness sort of on my right side, and we were sitting at a table that was up against a wall, and it was sort of on the wall side that I was feeling the heaviness. And I was quite distracted, and I was just trying to pay attention to my friend while she was having dinner, or we were having lunch. And all of a sudden I just started getting all these words popping into my head, and I thought, I need to write this down. This is important. And so I pulled out my phone, trusty iPhones or cell phones or whatever you got, and I wrote these words down, and I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the video, but I'll tell you what it says. So yeah, it doesn't look like you're going to be able to read that on the video, I don't think. But what it says is a word: Christina, motorcycle, murder, legion, and yellow. And I didn't know what the words meant. I just wrote them down, and then I put my phone away, and I just thought, this will come up if it's meant to come up. And we sat there having lunch, and I continued to feel the presence. And then all of a sudden, I heard this blood curdling scream. And I just jumped. And my friend was like, "Are you okay?" And I went, "Did you hear that?" And she said, "No, but you heard something." And I said, "I did." And then all of a sudden, I had sort of almost like a video playing in my mind. And she said to me, "Tell me what's happening. Tell me what you're seeing." Because she also knows what I do and how I do it. And I said, "Are you sure you want to hear this? It's not happy." And she said, "Yeah, no, I need to hear it. Tell me." And so I told her that I heard a young woman screaming, and that I had a flash of a name, Christina, and that she was wearing a yellow dress. I felt that she had a connection to a motorcycle. She either rode a motorcycle or she dated someone who rode a motorcycle. And that this person was much older than her, that they had recently broken up, and he was angry and jealous, and he was stalking her, basically. And I wrote down the word legion, and I said, I don't know if it means that they used to hang out at the Legion, or if she worked in a Legion or something, or near a Legion. I said it could even be like a group, a gang. Sometimes these things I don't know what they mean. I just get the words. And so it's really hard, because sometimes you don't want to overinterpret something because you'll miss the actual message. But at the same time, you don't want to ignore these messages either, because I find that it's very much like a jigsaw puzzle, and all these pieces just kind of fall into place eventually, and they make sense. And I said to her, this person was never caught. until recently. And I said, I feel like she's coming to me because I said, I feel like this happened a while ago, and she's been waiting and waiting for this person to be brought to justice. And I said, I feel like recently something has happened in this case where all of a sudden this might be brought to justice, and she is needing release, and she wants to be able to let it go and let her family move on and have healing and peace. And then I told her, I said, it's okay to go. I know now, and I'll tell people, and you can go. And I really felt her presence leave the room. And I don't know if she went to the light. I felt like she was already in the light. She just wanted to come and let me know that this was something that was still weighing heavily on everybody. And so she just left. It was like a lightness in the room again. And I just looked at my friend. I said, isn't that weird? And my friend looked at me, who was someone that had lived in that area for a very long time. I should mention that I didn't live in that area for a very long time. I'd only just moved there. So I didn't know the history of the town or anything like that. And my friend was staring at me, and she said, I know who you're talking about. And I said, you do? And she said, yeah. So she said it was a young girl that was murdered here many years ago. And she said she used to work in the building right beside us, right beside where we were sitting. And she said she worked for a really long time there, and she was really well loved, and everybody knew her. And she said, did you know that the Legion is right behind the restaurant that we're in? And I went, it is? And she said, yeah, there's a Legion right behind here. And she worked in a building right next to this. And she said, so it doesn't surprise me that she's in this area. Her name was, in fact, Kristy. And again, remember, I'm changing names. And she had been murdered, and the murder had gone unsolved. She did, in fact, have a boyfriend that was much older than her who rode a motorcycle, and they had broken up. And it was later proven through DNA evidence and some other things that he was, in fact, the one that had taken her life. And it was pretty tragic, very tragic. And the yellow dress was very symbolic because she had just recently graduated from high school, and she wore a yellow dress on her graduation. And so all of this stuff sort of came out after I told her what the story was. And I thought what was so significant to me was that the friend I was having lunch with knew the story. And if anybody else had been sitting there with me that day, they wouldn't have known the story, and it would have gone maybe no further. And so sometimes it amazes me how God manufactures situations so that I am in the right place at the right time, sitting across from the right people, so that these messages can get through and people can find peace and have rest, right? So don't ever be afraid. If you have a gift and you're getting messages or you're seeing things, don't ever be afraid to share it, because you never know what will come. So thank you for listening to my story today. It is a tragic one, but it's also one of hope and healing and wellness. And I hope that you can see that, be grateful for all that you have, and never take for granted the people that you love. I would love it also if you would check out my Facebook page, my website, Instagram, all of that. It's all under Psychic Kenna, and you can find me that way. Like my page, follow me, you'll hear more stories, and I hope that you enjoy them. And also, I am writing a book. It's coming up soon. I'm hoping to have it published in August. It's called My Psychic Medium Mind, and there'll be many stories like this in my book. I hope you enjoy. Thanks, and have a fantastic day filled with love and light and a little adventure.